Here are 7 unethical ways to beat Pokemon. Number 1, catching other people's Pokemon. One of the biggest rules in the Pokemon world is that you can't catch someone else's Pokemon, but today we're breaking that rule. In Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, there's a glitch that literally allows you to steal Pokemon, and although it's unethical, it can help you out a lot in terms of battling. Here's how it works. First, you need to beat the Elite Four and become the champion. After doing that, you start unlocking roaming Pokemon, either Latios or Latias, depending on your version. And they basically start roaming across the map and spawn in different routes, depending on where you're at. Now, once you've got Latios and Latias on the loose, you need to pick a trainer whose Pokemon that you want to steal. And by the way, the only requirement for this is that the trainer has at least 2 Pokemon on his team. Now, when you're facing them in battle, make sure that you lose and the trainer wins. Once you throw the battle and you lose, you will respawn in a Pokemon Center. After that, immediately track down the roaming Latios or Latias. But if you encounter any Pokemon or trainers before finding Latios or Latias, the glitch won't work. And now once you've encountered Latios or Latias, this is where you can finally steal the Pokemon. Because once you encounter them and you knock them out in battle, you'll notice something. The game tries to send out the second Pokemon from the trainer's team that you just faced. The glitch basically makes the game think that you're still in a trainer battle even though you've already lost. So instead of catching the legendary Pokemon, you'll get the chance to catch the trainer's Pokemon. And in terms of how you could use this, basically if you stole a Pokemon from the battle tower, you could potentially technically end up with a free overpowered level 100 Pokemon for basically no work. But it is unethical because you stole it. The next unethical method you can employ is Acid Rain. Now, Acid Rain is a game-breaking glitch that happens in Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Platinum. This glitch triggers when a weather effect like hail or sandstorm is active, and both players are receiving slight damage each turn to their Pokemon. Now, in the battle, if you knock out an opponent's Pokemon with the move Pursuit when they were supposed to try and switch out, the game gets confused and it activates all the weather effects at the same time, causing damage from multiple weather effects at once. And people have named this condition or situation as Acid Rain. Now here's where it gets unethical. If you have a Pokemon with the ability Magic Guard or other Pokemon that have abilities that prevent themselves from taking damage to certain effects, they can actually nullify the Acid Rain and escape unscathed while your opponent takes tons of damage each turn. For them, it's basically a ticking time bomb with each turn chipping away at their HP. And because Acid Rain lasts the whole battle, it's probably one of the most unfair ways to tilt things in your favor. Your opponent's Pokemon are unlikely to survive the constant onslaught of weather effects unless they happen to have the perfect counters like you do. It's not just unethical, it's downright cheating. It turns the battlefield into a nightmare. The next method is not in battle, but involves beating the game in a much shorter time than was previously thought. Of course, I'm referring to the infamous Void Glitch, an exploit that allows you to skip basically entire portions of the game's Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and walk straight to the Pokemon League, bypassing almost everything else. This glitch occurs due to the way the game loads its map. In Diamond and Pearl, the overworld is divided into chunks, and only 4 of them are loaded at any given time. And by riding your bike at high speeds and crossing specific loading zones, you can cause the game to improperly load or unload certain areas, leading to what players call the Void, a space where you can walk out of bounds and into unknown territory. From here, by following very precise steps, you can manipulate the game into taking you straight to the Pokemon League, crossing all the barriers you're not supposed to, crossing stuff you're not even technically supposed to see yet. And though it may take a significant amount of time walking through the Void, this exploit lets you skip massive portions of the game and you can claim victory in record time. Not only does it break the traditional gameplay structure, but it also gives you access to areas in Pokemon normally locked behind special events, making it a highly unethical way to play through Diamond and Pearl. The next method is not about breaking the game, but it's wronging your own Pokemon. In Gold and Silver, there's a glitch that lets players clone Pokemon and by extension their items by exploiting the PC save system. While it sounds convenient, duplicating your Pokemon raises a potential ethical concern. Your Pokemon who were raised with love and affection, who were trained with care, who you spent countless moons battling with are kind of just duplicated and turned into a clone. Now, as for how you exactly perform this, players give their Pokemon that they wish to clone an item. They save in front of the PC, they deposit the Pokemon, and then they switch boxes. When the game prompts them to save during the box change, they shut off the game before the saving is complete. And then when you restart, both the original and the clone with the same item will be in your party and your PC. This once again has like infinite exploits because you can clone Master Balls, rare candies, and other rare items that you don't have access to normally. Although it's a simple trick, it devalues the effort you put into training and acquiring items and even catching your own Pokemon, turning Pokemon into basically replaceable commodities. While it doesn't harm the game itself, it does betray the spirit of friendship between you and your Pokemon. The next unethical method takes place in the game corner, where you can gamble your way to riches, but with a twist. While trying your luck at the slot machines in Celadon City, you may notice a pattern, and if you exploit it, you can make an endless supply of coins. But the question comes up, is it really fair to beat the odds this way? Now, the way you do this is, in Pokemon Red and Blue, you can record the timing of the symbols on slot machines. By identifying a repeating sequence, you can use precise timing to hit the jackpot. For example, this clip, the first reel shows a 7 3 times, the second reel shows it twice, and the third only once. With the right timing, you can land the coveted 777 combination over and over again, guaranteeing a win, using tools like a metronome or like a timer to help fine-tune your actual timing. And though it takes practice, you can bankrupt the casino by winning 3 jackpots in a row, making it practically impossible to lose if you know what you're doing. But this is kind of wrong because you're not just stealing from the game corner. This isn't the casino's money. This is the hard-earned cash of all the other trainers who lost their savings, hoping for a lucky break. By exploiting the system, you're basically taking all of their money. The next one is an unusually cruel glitch that affects your opponent's Pokemon, and it is definitely cheating. Now, the Skydrop glitch, which gives you a completely unfair advantage in battle, happens in Pokemon Black, White, and their sequels. This glitch occurs in double battles and triple battles when the move Skydrop is used alongside Gravity. Normally, Skydrop lifts an opponent into the air, making them semi-invulnerable until they're dropped back down. However, if the move Gravity is used by a Pokemon in that situation, the glitch causes the target of Skydrop to be completely immobilized. And what makes this particularly unfair is that the immobilized Pokemon can't act until the Skydrop user is either knocked out or switched out, leaving them stuck permanently. And status effects like burn or poison still apply to the trapped Pokemon, meaning it can slowly faint without doing you any damage. Now, this method was so unethical that the Pokemon game actually banned this from Wi-Fi random matches and official tournaments during Generation 5. Now, Nintendo eventually fixed the glitch in Generation 6, but while it lasted, this was one of the most frustrating and game-breaking mechanics in competitive Pokemon before they banned it. Because people would literally spam you with this and slowly watch as your Pokemon died of it. The next method is kind of similar, and it's been nicknamed the Symbiosis glitch. Now the Symbiosis ability allows a Pokemon to pass its item to the other Pokemon who's on its team. But if the other Pokemon is holding an eject button, which allows it to go out of the battle, it can lead to some pretty interesting results, because when the other Pokemon returns to the battle, it will have 2 of the original items. The effects of the items are actually doubled. And this is crazy because if the Pokemon is holding a life orb, it can deal twice as much damage, though the user takes twice as much recoil. This leads to massive and unintended consequences, making your team far more powerful than it should be. It kind of ruins battles in competitive Pokemon, and it allows players to maximize their item effects in ways that were never intended before. And also, if you keep on doing it with the same Pokemon, you could get 2, 4, 6, or even 8 times the effect of the original item. It's overpowered. Now, we've been talking about unethical ways to win in Pokemon, but how about a method that the game uses to punish you for these unethical behaviors? Well, one of the most famous examples is the bad egg glitch. Now, this is essentially an anti-cheating measure that Pokemon put in. Now, if you've stolen a trainer's Pokemon or you're using hacks to overlevel your Pokemon quickly in daycares, the game will actually notice bad egg appears as a direct consequence of that. And once a bad egg shows up in your party or PC, you're actually stuck with it. It can't be hatched, released, or even removed, and it takes up that storage spot completely. And if you try to interact with it, and if you try to see its details, the game will crash. And in some cases, bad eggs spread across PC boxes like a virus, leading to a full-blown disaster. So while the bad egg itself might not directly ruin your battles, it's a warning from the game. Don't do these unethical things, don't cheat, or you may pay the price. But again, it's only in Pokemon Emerald, so, it is what it is. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please give a like, thumbs up, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time with more Pokemon content.